Steel, glass, a leather strap on your wrist, and a price that stopped making sense a long time ago. In 2017, one of them sold at auction for $17.75 million, and that was not even the record. 2 years later, another watch went for just over $31 million. You might have one in a drawer right now. This is the number that decides whether that was a purchase or an investment. Somewhere in those years, a watch stopped being a watch. It became an asset. The promise was simple: wear it every day and sell it for more than you paid. Everyone weighed that promise against the shop window. Somebody should have weighed it against an index fund. And for a while, the numbers agreed. In 5 years, this one went up almost 6 times. A second market grew up next to the first one. By the year 2033, it is projected to reach $85 billion. The pitch was always the same. Steel sports models, they said, never go down. We chose 5 watches to tell most of that story. These 5. So we did the obvious thing. We checked. Same window for every watch. The buy price is what it cost to get one in 2016. The sell price is today's market. The benchmark is the S&P 500, dividends reinvested, because a number without a method is just a story. Start with the one that was never sold as an investment. It was sold as equipment. It starts here. The Rolex Submariner, 1953. The first wristwatch built to survive 100 meters of water. Rewind to 1927, to a Rolex Oyster. A swimmer wore one on a cord around her neck and swam the English Channel. She was in the water over 10 hours. She did not finish that swim. The watch did. It was made for a job. Men working underwater needed to know how long their air would last. Then, in 1960, Rolex bolted an experimental watch to the outside of a submarine. It came back from 10,916 meters. Picard cabled Rolex. Your watch is precise at 11,000 meters as on surface. The watch kept running. 1953, the first one. 1962, James Bond. 2010, the ceramic era. The producer took his own watch off his wrist and handed it over. That exact reference starts near 60,000 today. The best originals run into the hundreds of thousands. It listed for 8,550. Today, between 10 and 12,000. No dated market price exists for this one, so we used the list price. You already know what a Rolex is supposed to do. It holds its value. Put the list price in, take today's market out, and you are up 17%. At the very best, 40. It did not keep up with the index, and this one never even carried the promise. The next one had to survive a test built to destroy it. The Omega Speedmaster, introduced in 1957 as a chronograph for racing drivers. In 1965, NASA tested watches to destruction. The Longines died in the heat. The Rolex popped its crystal in the humidity chamber. The Omega finished all 11 tests, so it was certified flight qualified for all manned space missions. 4 years later, in 1969, Buzz Aldrin wore his onto the lunar surface. Every crewed mission that followed carried one, including all 6 landings. It flew on every single moon landing, all 6 of them. And on Apollo 13, after the spacecraft's timers failed, a crewman used his watch to time a 14-second burn. They got the angle right. They came home. In 2021, a 1957 example sold for about $3.4 million, except that watch was assembled from parts of other watches, and the buyer was Omega itself. The watch that walked on the moon has never been found. History like that is supposed to hold a price forever. That is the story talking. It comes back at between 80 and 95% of retail. The gap is what wearing it cost you. So the story went to the moon, the money did not. Something else has to move a price. A gift made this one famous. It was built to time a race, and that is not the reason anybody remembers it. The Rolex Daytona, 1963, named after a speedway in Florida. It was a tool for drivers. You timed a lap with it, and that was the whole idea. Its most famous owner got one as a gift. His wife had the back engraved. Drive carefully. She signed it. Me. That watch sold for $17,752,500. That is the number we opened this film with. Except that is not where the bidding stopped. The final bid was $15.5 million. The gap between the bid and the headline was just over $2.25 million. That gap is the buyer's premium, and the auction house keeps every cent of it. At Sotheby's, the buyer adds 28% on the first 2 million, then 22, then 15. The one you could actually buy followed its own path. About 15,000 at launch, nearly 50 at the top, and then back to around 25. The list price is 16,900. The going rate is nearly 35,000. 10 years, a boom and a crash. And the return is plus 67%. On the numbers, the famous name did not change the answer. Nothing has so far. This one started as a sketch over dinner. The strange part is what its maker did once everybody wanted one. A designer sketched it over dinner. It took him about 5 minutes. That drawing became the Patek Philippe Nautilus. It was priced at about $3,100 in 1976. The original drawing of it later sold for $727,000. And then Patek stopped making it. A company walking away from its own bestseller is not something you see every day. Its replacement tells a similar story. Almost 90,000 at retail, 150 on the market. What happened next is the steepest line in this film. The average price went from about 26,000 to 152, then back to 112,500, plus 333%. The index did plus 365. Everything about this one went right. The Nautilus still lost to a boring index fund. This one was made while the whole Swiss industry was collapsing. Then one company did something nobody could explain. Swiss watch employment fell from 90,000 to 28,000. The reason was simple. A quartz Seiko lost 5 seconds a month. The best Swiss chronometer lost 5 seconds a day. So Audemars Piguet did something absurd. They made a steel watch and priced it above a gold Patek, the Royal Oak. Same designer, and he drew it in one night. It should have failed. Instead, it saved the company, roughly plus 181%. And the whole time, the money was not in an index fund. What the gamble rescued was Audemars Piguet, not the person who bought the watch. One man drew both of them. Neither one beat the index. That is the ceiling, and the floor is still ahead of us. Now put them on the same wall. Every rescue, every record, all of it collapses into one number. The Nautilus, plus 333. The Royal Oak, plus 181. The Daytona, plus 67. The Submariner, 17 to 40. And the fifth one, the Moonwatch, comes back below its retail price. Here is the line every one of them had to cross, plus 365%. Not one of the 5 cleared it. Our sample is small, so we asked what the whole asset class did. As a class, watches returned about 125% over 10 years. Set that against the other things rich people collect. Art rose 11% last year. Wine fell. Watches landed in between. So why does everybody believe the opposite? Because of this. In March 2022, the market hit a top nobody had seen before, and then it fell. By late 2023, it was down 42% from its high. Rates went up, crypto collapsed, the money that was buying watches went somewhere else. It has been coming back since. In 2025, the market rose 5.1%, but the recovery had a name on it. Patek Philippe rose 12.1%, Rolex 4.6%. Nobody owns the average. It is what happens to the ones that get counted. The second reason is a counting problem, and it starts with how many of these things exist. Rolex makes about 1.1 million watches a year. Patek Philippe makes about 72,000. You hear about the one that sold for millions. You never hear about the millions that did not. In December 2025, a Germol prototype sold for 10,755,000. The winning bid was 9 million. The rest is the buyer's premium added on top. And the 31 million record was a charity sale where no premium was added at all. Even the records are not what they look like. None of this describes a watch you could own. It describes an auction room, and the third is hidden in a price you were never able to pay. Here is that sticker, and here is what it actually takes to get one. The price used to measure the gain is not the price you pay. Rolex was asked about the shortage. Their answer: the scarcity of our products is not a strategy on our part. That is the official answer. Their reason was capacity. Production cannot meet the demand without lowering quality. The statement ends by naming who decides. Official retailers, who independently manage the allocation of watches to customers. An American dealer contract, filed with regulators, spells it out. Rolex approves the quantities, and Rolex approves which models. It is on paper. That is the same company that said scarcity was not a strategy. The same contract also limits who is allowed to buy one. Ultimate consumers only, over the counter. Watches of Switzerland files public accounts. In them, the waiting list is called a registration of interest. Demand for those brands still outstrips supply in the American and British markets. That comes from the company's own 2025 report. Buying it is not the last payment. Owning it has a cost that no return ever counts. A Rolex service runs between $800 and $1,200. And that is just the service. Rolex recommends it about every 10 years. Wear it every day and it is between 5 and 7. On a watch that cost $8,550, one service is 9 to 14% of the purchase. There is also a yearly bill. Insurers price a watch at between 1 and 2%. A Submariner runs roughly $100 a year, up to $160. A Nautilus $1,400, up to $2,300. Your home insurance will not cover it. A standard policy caps jewelry claims at around $1,500. None of this shows up in a return. The watch costs money for as long as you own it. Put it back in the drawer, and there is still one thing you have to prove, that it is real. Trade in fake Swiss watches was worth 3.35 billion francs. The words Swiss made were supposed to settle that. The best fakes are not crude anymore. A superclone costs between $1,500 and $2,000 and ships with fake papers. Some fakes now run a genuine Swiss movement, the same base the authentic caliber is modified from. Inside, it looks real. On eBay, anything at $2,000 or more goes to an authenticator first. In 2024, one marketplace rejected 29% of the watches sellers tried to list. Doubt is now part of the price. An index fund never has to be proved real before somebody will buy it from you. Then comes the sale. The law's list of collectibles never says watch. It says any metal or gem. Whatever lands on that list has its own ceiling. 28% of the gain, sell the index fund instead, and the top rate on that same gain is 20%. That is one shelter the watch cannot use. Put a collectible in a retirement account, and the law calls it a withdrawal. And the Moonwatch lost money. A loss on something you wore is not deductible. No shelter, no exemption. So after all 5, what actually survives? In our sample, it was not a portfolio. It was the rare luxury where most of the money came back. So here is our takeaway. If you are buying one, buy it because you want to wear it and expect it to trail the market. Never call it a portfolio. The index wins on paper. The watch wins on your wrist. The one in the drawer is doing neither. Somebody is about to tell you the same story about something else. We will run the same test on that one.